Before we get into today's conversation, I want to take a minute to ground us. These last few episodes really changed me. From sitting with Taryn and learning how strategy, self awareness, and knowing your worth can literally shift any room that you move into, to being with Mickey, who showed us that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's power. And sometimes just showing up as yourself is the bravest currency you can bring. What I learned from both of them is that confidence isn't about being the loudest in the room, it's about being rooted. It's about trusting yourself when the outcome is unclear and knowing that your presence alone already holds value. Because confidence is currency. It opens doors. It changes negotiations. It affects how people listen to you, pay you, respect you, and remember you. But here's the part nobody tells you. Confidence is built, not borrowed. It is earned through experience, failure, self-reflection, and choosing yourself over and over again. Today's conversation is about what it really means to stand in that confidence, especially in industries that test you, especially when your name, your image, and your voice are the product. This episode is for anyone who's ever questioned their worth, anyone who's ever walked into a room and felt unseen, and anyone who's learning to charge differently, move differently, speak differently because they finally know who they are. So take a breath, get comfortable, because we are about to talk about confidence not as a vibe, but as a currency. And trust me, this conversation is going to be one you're going to feel.
You're listening to Reality Redefined, the podcast. This is Reality Redefined, where the only script is the one you create. Hit play and let the reality revolution begin.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Reality Redefined. If this is your first time here, I am Jayla Roxx, and this is the show where we break down the real stories, the real strategies, and the real mindset behind unscripted television and the people who move through it. Whether you're listening on your commute, you're at the house, you're at the gym, thank you for choosing Reality Redefined. This season, we're going deeper, more conversations, more honesty, and more moments that actually make you stop and think. And today's episode is one of those. So here's the question I want you to sit with as we move through today's conversation. When was the last time that you truly believed in your value before someone else validated it? Today, we are talking about confidence as currency, how it shapes the way we show up, the way we're treated, and the way that we move through rooms that were never built for us. So settle in, get comfortable, and let's redefine some things together. Earlier today, I had the opportunity to speak with the iconic Keanu Soto, and he said something that really landed with me. He reminded me that confidence is not about being the loudest person in the room. It's about trusting yourself even when the room is watching. And he knows that from firsthand. From competing on Big Brother to standing out in a house where every move is judged and still somehow walking away as America's favorite player. His confidence didn't come from perfection, it came from authenticity. And that's what makes confident currency. When you stop performing and standing in who you are, people respond, audience respond, and opportunities arise. So today we're talking about confidence as currency, how it shows up, how it's earned, and how it changes the way that the world receives you. Please help me welcome America's favorite player, the Dungeon Master, Keanu. Keanu, thank you so much for joining Reality Redefined. First and foremost, how does it feel now that you're into this new year to get out of the fishbowl and live life?
I feel good. Obviously I got a good reception from being on the show. So, I'm not coming out to a bunch of hate and stuff. So, I'm loving it.
Before we get into anything, I have to say, I have to curse you. I have to curse you with joy, okay? Watching you on social media kind of just go in with those kettlebells.
Oh, the kettlebells, yeah.
Routines. It is insane. And I'm like, more power to you because that's all you. So how do you find the joy and the motivation to do it all?
It's just part of my routine. You know what I mean? For me, working out is a non-negotiable. And that's just the modality that I have chosen. I love kettlebells. Aside from the fact that I think they're fun, they're just very convenient. So even on days where I can't necessarily leave the house and hit a workout in a conventional gym, I know I'm still going to get a really good workout because I have a bunch of them here in my house.
And I know I don't look like it, but I do a little boxing from time to time. You see these guns right here?
Yeah. Oh, no. I wasn't expecting all that.
Fitness is a lifestyle. And in order for you to navigate the way with discipline, you got to have that art of self belief. So that's what we're talking about today, using confidence as currency. So I want to know from you, when did confidence feel like a tool rather than a trait?
That's funny. I don't think that confidence is a trait. I fully believe that it's something that you have to build and a muscle that you have to exercise consistently or it atrophies. Confidence is built on keeping promises to yourself. So the gym is a great example. That's one of the reasons why I love going to the gym. It's a great personal development tool. Even if it's not for necessarily making yourself look better, the vain way that, oh, I want to look better. I want a six pack. I want this and that. No, just master the art of showing up and doing something for yourself. If you consistently keep promises to yourself, that's how you build credibility with yourself. And when you feel credible, you feel confident, right? I imagine you feel very good at doing these interviews because you have like 15 years under your belt, right? And that's because you've built credibility with yourself. So it's the same thing with when you go to the gym, and you tell yourself you're going to go 4 days a week, and you make it to that fourth day, you're like, hell yeah, I did it. And I still got 3 days to go. You know what I mean? So you might start even going more. And once you keep those promises to yourself, that's how you build that confidence.
That's why this show is so important. And I wanted you to come on to talk about those moments of joy. Oprah brings it up a lot. And she says that that first moment of joy is our springboard to our success. So I want to know, what's a moment for you where you believed in yourself that truly changed your trajectory to success?
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily like synonymous with the tool, the kettlebell. That's actually a more relatively recent thing. I want to say I got into that about 3 or 4 years ago, but training I've been doing for the last 15 years. I'm 33 years old. So I started like when I was 18. I met this guy at a gym and he was talking in like anatomical terms. And like up until that point, I had never really been very passionate about anything. Nothing really like kind of turned on that part of my brain that I was like, damn, I want to do that for the rest of my life. But yeah, something about the way he was speaking really, really turned that part of my brain on. And I think that just really worked cohesively with my desire to teach. I love teaching people, not necessarily just about fitness, really just about anything. Like even like obviously I'm a dungeon master, right? So I love like games and things like that. One of my favorite things is just to teach people how to play a game. You know what I mean? And not only like, not just play it to play, but like, hey, these are the strategies that are going to help you win this and that, So, yeah, I think that was really kind of like the first time where that part of my brain really turned on and allowed me to do something, just happened to be fitness, but also the avenue that I like, which is, just helping people teach new skills and new things. And with fitness, it kind of helps them develop personally as well. So that's something that I'm actually pretty passionate about as well. So.
And now that you have been exposed to millions of people, your visibility in the spotlight has grown.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's this complex thing of being visible and also being private. So I want to know from you, how has public attention changed your relationship with privacy?
I feel like my everyday life, aside from the fact that I get recognized now, has not changed very drastically. I mean, before I went on the show, a lot of people don't know this. They think that I like just accumulated 270,000 followers because of Big Brother. And that's not true. Before I went on the show, I had over 100,000. And that was because I spent a lot of time becoming like a fitness influencer, and so there's not really too much has changed because my day-to-day life before was built around coaching clients, teaching them about nutrition and things like that. And unfortunately for me to go on the show, I did kind of have to like step back from my business and kind of let it, subside a little bit, which I'm not worried about. I've built it up before. I can do it again. But right now it's really not lucrative for me to do that because I have so many other opportunities and fitness is always going to be there. So, I don't know how long this little reality train is going to go on for. But even if it's just a year or two, well, in 1 or 2 years, I'll go back to the whole fitness game, but still work from home technically, taking calls, doing interviews and things like that. I'm still just at home. So, really nothing has changed aside from when I go to like the grocery store or something, people will be like, I went to the downtown square in McKinney here yesterday, and we were taking photos in the in like the little square area where the big tree is. And some lady was behind us, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, can you take a picture of us?" And then the lady was like taking the phone. She started shaking. She's like, this wasn't what I was expecting when I was watching Big Brother last season.
And I'm sure you are secretly loving it because you kind of feel like, Glenda from Wicked with a little hair sauce here.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, it's definitely something. It's something that I definitely enjoy. I don't take it for granted, and it's always like I'm such a words of affirmation person, and usually when people notice me, they'll like say something really nice, like, "Oh, dude, I love the way you played the game. It really motivated me," or just watching you on the live feeds working out really motivated me to go back to the gym. So those are the things that I really enjoy about it. Like getting noticed, obviously, is cool, but like it's those words of affirmation things, and I'm such a big words of affirmation person that every time one of those things happens, it really kind of like re-energizes me. It like fills my cup up, if you will.
And let's face it, the fans are so passionate and they can sometimes
Yeah.
become la toxica, okay? With all the IGs, with all the DMs, with all of the love that comes with it, how do you protect your peace while staying present with your fans?
Man, I wish I had like a sexy answer for that. I think I just don't really care what people say. Like obviously when it's something nice, I take it in, absorb it. Thank you so much. It re-energizes me. But if someone didn't like the way I played the game or they think I suck or this and that, like, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Yours just happens to suck, but 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 yeah, I don't really let it bother me. I know who I am. I know how I played, and I'm very proud of. Could I have played better? Absolutely, but I was very proud of the way that I played. I didn't, I wasn't confrontational to a umpth degree. Picking them off one by one. Yeah, of course that's considered confrontational. But when people tried to pick fights with me, I was just kind of like letting it, slide off my back. I wasn't like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm not giving them their TV moment. You can have it, just not off me. You know what I'm saying?
So tell us about your co-host in the back.
Oh, Amy, hold on, come here. Yeah, she's the real star of the show here.
How did she respond when you came back from filming Big Brother?
Oh God, it was more about like how I respond. She's like, "Oh, finally you're back," because dogs don't really have like a sense of time. She's like, "Oh, 15 years." I don't know. She kind of treated it like I just came back from the grocery store. I'm the one that started crying.
I guess it's safe to say maybe you're not her favorite human.
No, I mean, whoa. I better be, right, Amy?
This year, I made it a vow to myself to not only hold myself accountable, or at least try to, and also heal my inner child. So I
Oh,
have to
okay.
ask you, what's one fear that you are unlearning about yourself?
A fear that I'm actively unlearning? Oh shit. Wow. That's a good question. Hold on, let me think about that for a second. Probably just learning to like let go. Sometimes things aren't going to work out the way you want them to. And something that I take a lot of pride in, little some solace in, is that I always do the work that I need to do to get the result that I want. So I can't be upset if I don't get the result I want, because sometimes that's not necessarily all to do with my preparation. I did my part. I have to be happy with the result because I did the best that I could. And sometimes you don't get the result you want, and you have to be okay with that. I think that the 7-year-old me who wanted to be, a professional football player or something like that, I think would be extremely proud of still not being a professional football player, but being on competitive reality TV. I feel like he would probably be like, "Damn, that's a pretty cool second." You know what I mean? So, I'm very proud of, where I'm at. And the future things to come. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to be coming down the pipeline, but I imagine something, and I'm going to take full advantage of that when I get the opportunity. And I'm thinking about it in a new light now. I'm definitely going to make my 7-year-old version of myself proud for sure.
As we go through life and we are on this constant go, it's easy to get caught up in everything that we have going on. So I want to take this moment to stop and celebrate the support system that you have. So I want to know, who has poured into you when the camera stopped rolling beyond the edits?
Oh my God, dude. I am like so beyond blessed when it comes to like people that support me. Like my whole family, like my mom, my dad, everybody that is in my family, except for one of my sisters who lives in Georgia, lives in South Florida. So I'm the only person in my family that lives in Dallas. So the amount of support that I have out here, even though they're not family, is insane. So, I got like three of my really close friends that like all live out here. I got one of my clients, he's really a friend at this point, but he started off as one of my clients. And I go to his house for Thanksgiving too after I go to my friend's house. And they're so great. They're such a great people. I train their entire family. And when I came back, they threw like this welcome home party, and there was like a good 25, 30 people there. They had my parents come out. And so like my parents were there, my uncles were there, my sisters were there, a bunch of my friends. And like, these are all people that are like in different like areas of my life that aren't necessarily like affiliated with each other. So I had like my nerdy board game, Dungeons and Dragons friends, my gym friends, my clients, my, girlfriend and her family, my family. It was like no one was affiliated, but to see everybody there in one area was so nice, dude. I got teary-eyed, and that was only possible because of his name is Marty. So shout out to Marty. I love that guy. I love his family, and they're a huge part of the reason why I'm even able to like do the whole reality TV thing and all that stuff. So yeah, it's really nice to have a support system, them specifically.
Well, shout out to Marty. Marty's going to love this when he see this. So Marty, wherever you are,
Yeah.
thank you for being a friend. Okay.
Fun fact. If you go back and watch the episode of Big Brother where I get my key, he's the guy that I jumped on because he's the one that gave it to me.
Watching your social media and just keeping up with you after the game, you have always been so community forward. And I love that about you. And that's what America loves about you. I mean, they did vote you for America's favorite player. So how do you show up for others without shrinking yourself?
Oh, dude, you got to put yourself first. It sounds funny. I know they're like Simon Sinek, I think his name is. He has a one that's like leaders eat last, I think is like the premise of his entire book. And it's just about, serving others. But and I agree, pour your heart into everyone else, but you can't pour into others if your cup is empty, right? So you have to prioritize your peace. You have to prioritize putting yourself first and accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish and making sure you're taking daily steps to do those things. Because if you don't, I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time before you start getting frustrated with yourself. Once you're frustrated with yourself, it doesn't take very much to get frustrated with others. And then that's it. People start looking at you a little bit differently. So you always have to put yourself first and do the things that are going to make you happy. And then you'll start showing up significantly with more joy for other people and even have the capacity to do so in general. Like I used to be the head trainer of a boot camp for pretty much women. It was like 85% women. And in the afternoon or the morning classes, the late morning classes was like all the stay-at-home moms that like pretty much pride themselves on doing everything for everyone else. And our biggest like selling point for that crowd in specific was like, hey, you're going to burn out, girl. You can't be doing everything for everybody else if you don't do something for yourself. So this is your 45 minutes. You know what I mean? Put yourself first for these 45 minutes. Don't worry about your kid right now. We got great childcare. Okay. You put yourself first, and you make sure you do that. So that way you can continue to show up for everybody else with a good attitude. You know what I mean? Because, showing up for other people are people pleasers all the time. You know what I mean? So they're going to show up for everyone else regardless, but showing up with a good attitude is the difference maker. So
Keanu, thank you so much for chatting with me, sitting with America's favorite player. I mean, what a flex. And this is what we do on Reality Redefined. Where can we follow you? Where can we keep up with all the things that Keanu have happening this year?
Yeah, all of my socials are at Keanu Ray Soto. So my first, middle, and last name, except for on X. Somebody's posing as me and I don't like it. So so if you're seeing this, maybe report them or something, but I'm never going to have an X or a Twitter, so it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I'm on all platforms. I'm at Keanu Ray Soto.
Thank you for joining me for a brand new episode of Reality Redefined. Follow the show at Reality Redefined Show on social media and make sure you keep up with me at Who is Jayla Roxx with 2 X's, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to Reality Redefined. The podcast. The podcast.